orange, kinda, maybe. At least that's what the color is right now. I don't know. I'm in a weird mood with this stuff, but hey, time to get on and talk about something else this week, this episode, whatever you want to call it. So, let's see. A couple years back, Russel Simmons wrote a book. It's Do You, like the 12 laws or items, 12 laws to access the power in you to achieve happiness, right? So it's a great book. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I aligned myself with it in so many different ways, because it took me a long time to figure out exactly, and be comfortable with like who I was and what I was doing in life and all this other stuff. And we continue to learn as we go through our careers and through our lives in different stages of our lives. So, but this whole do you thing the book came out at a great time for me. Just trying to figure out where I wanted to be, in my career. And, there's a lot of perceptions out there from people of what you do and who you are as an individual. And that's great. I mean, we're all individuals. We all make those judgments on everybody else in different careers. But what I will say is, like, when somebody's struggling, if you're struggling to figure out an identity for building a business, what type of career you want to be in, and this goes for college kids and high school kids, and hell, I just will tell you guys right now, if you're young and you don't know what you want to do, it's not a problem. It really isn't. It takes people a long time to figure out what they want to do, and I honestly, I'm in a career right now that I'm making good money and doing a little bit of extra work on the creative side of things, and it's really got me in a good place. But, I'm not a young chicken here. It took me a long time to get to the point where I just don't give a hoot about, how I'm perceived as far as what careers I'm in. Listen, I'm in two of the most joked about careers, I guess, that you could talk about. And when people think of a perception of a real estate agent, it's a slimy salesperson that's just working for commission. We always get knocked fun at on TV commercials and TV shows, and that's a career. They chide at us because there's over 1.5 million of us in the whole United States, so it's hitting a good party. We make a good living, but we also put in a lot of hours, of unpaid hours, until we get to settlements. So then the other side is like a disc jockey career, right? So when I was younger, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the entertainment business. I still have this innate need to create, whether it's a DJ mix or being in front of a microphone. See, like this thing right here, I'm still in front of a microphone. I'm still talking in front of a microphone, emceeing weddings, corporate events, even doing voiceovers for videos and small productions. That's all good. I still need to continue to create in my world. One of the things that I think it's important is that you get to that point where you don't care. And I'm not saying I don't care about what other people think. That's not true. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to figure out what you want to do and what's going to make you happy. Still work with a guy, Brian, who is a disc jockey. He's also a sound technician. This kid knew what he wanted to do very early on in his life. And, we worked together at a nightclub in Delaware County, and it was a hot spot, man. It was great. I used to pick him up on the way down to work because he didn't drive. He was 16 years old, working the lights down at at the Lagoon in Essington, in Delaware County. And, he absolutely loved it. He knew what he wanted to do. I mean, not many 16-year-olds are out there with a clear vision as to where they're going, but Brian really knew. And 29, 30 years later, he's still in the business. He's got a very successful disc jockey business. Doesn't have to advertise much at all. He works as a sound technician in multiple venues around the area, some of the biggest sports venues around the area, and he's a high demand individual. But he's always known what he wanted to do. He might tell you a little different, but that's the way I look at it. He's done himself. He personified that do you mentality. He doesn't care what other people think about it. That's what he does. He's an entertainer. He's a technician, and he's damn good at what he does. He's got confidence, and that's what everybody really needs to do. You could figure that out at 16 or 60. Doesn't matter, as long as you figure it out. What this whole Do You movement was about was that people needed to get in front of themselves, look in the mirror, and then figure out what you want to do, who you want to be. And that's really the crux of the message. Anybody that's listening here that just needs a little bit of vote of a little push or a little vote of confidence. If you don't know what you want to do in your career, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just start mapping things out the way you want it to look, the way you want it to be, doing the things you want to do. I stepped away from the MC disc jockey business for a while I was doing what I guess others, thought I should be doing. I finally eventually found my way into the real estate business, and it married up a lot of different talents that I had in the construction industry and just analytical and sales and marketing, and I folded some of that creative side of my experience in the music business and the entertainment business and into this business. So, I occasionally will shoot my own videos for property videos. I'll edit them. I will, sometimes I've even created the musical beds that they're on that are playing behind the videos. And my clients don't know that. They will now, but that's part of the professionalism that I want to present. But it also is a creative outlet for me, and it helps me do me. Like, it helps me do that. It helps me get my creative juices flowing, and it helps to get it out to the world in my own manner. I don't do it for the prestige. I do it because that's what I love to do. So ultimately, when I'm doing these type of things in this business, and when you're trying to figure out, who you want to be and how you want to do it, that's just part of your process. So, figure it out, write it down, start looking at things that really interest you and the things that you want to do, and start moving in that direction. Ultimately, you want to make sure that you keep yourself satisfied throughout whatever job you're doing, and that'll get you there. I mean, you'll get to be making some good money because you're passionate about what you're doing, and you're concentrating on what your ultimate goals are in a field that you love. Real estate is a great career. The creative end of it for me is what was missing, and I've been able to marry those two together and get to the point where I can use some of my knowledge of all this equipment that's around behind me over here and like that's being recorded. I'm using to record all this stuff. That's just me doing me. Love it or hate it when you're looking at it. If it helps you, great. If it doesn't, fine. If you don't like it, just move on. Just scroll right past. But some people really need to hear this. Don't worry about what other people are thinking. Do you. Just do you. If you do that, you're going to be a lot happier in your life. You're absolutely going to be much happier when you're going to work and starting a project. If you just do you. So I encourage you, if you want, pick up the Russel Simmons book and read it. He gives it to you straight. He's kind of a Gary V before Gary V was anybody out there. Russel Simmons always did what he wanted to do. I mean, he created that whole culture, that hip hop culture. A whole style of clothing and music. And I mean, he really just did what he wanted to do, and he didn't care what anybody thought about it. And that's what I encourage you guys to do, is just to go head out there and just do you. So that's it for today. Hope it helps. Drop some comments. Let me know. Go out and do you. Take care.